All right. I believe we are live. Should be live now, actually. So I always find it so funny whenever people start live streams and they're just still, they're like waiting for the little YouTube confirmation that they're live. But here we are. Good morning to whoever is in chat. Let me know if you're here. I see Taylor. Who else do we have? I haven't been awake very long today, but I got some coffee and ready to explore this stream a little bit. I'm looking forward to what we're going to do today. I got this little like spaceman thing, so you're going to see like the stars and a galaxy going on down here, so that's pretty cool. Thought that would be a neat addition to the background, and my son and my girlfriend both have one, and they like we kind of rotate them around the house because they're so cool. But yeah, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Taylor, good to see you, buddy. I know you and I were talking about this last night, and that's when this idea came to me to do this stream. So we'll see how this goes. I have no idea if this is going to end up being something productive. Not sure how it's going to go, if we're going to do something cool. But that's kind of the thing that I thought would be fun about this stream, was that I had no idea how far we could get. I don't know if it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be useful or if I'll even use this, but it's exciting nonetheless. Vision, thanks so much. I appreciate that a lot. I was really, really stoked on that video just in terms of like all the processes and stuff that are now sort of automated and handled through that automation. And so, yeah, that's what inspired me to try to do some stuff today. Let's see. Who else do we got in the chat? Hopefully more people are going to pop in. It's a Thursday morning. A little bit of notice on the stream, not too much, but hopefully everyone's going to pop in here in a little bit as the notifications to YouTube go out. So let's see, what else is there to talk about? I want to give a shout out to everybody on my blog email sign-up list. So on the Permaslug website, at the bottom of every post, there's an email sign-up box. And my idea with that has always been kind of to just share like cool goings on. And I've never really done all that much with it, but I sent an email yesterday with this info, you know, talking about the Cloudways API stuff that we did in the other video. I guess it was 2 days ago now, but I thought that would be a cool way to start sharing little snippets. So like, I don't really intend to make it like a proper newsletter with like multiple sections and, I guess some degree of regularity would probably be good, but there is quite a few people on there, so I need to start making a better use of that. So if you're interested, go to permaslug.com, find any of the tutorial posts, and at the bottom, you'll see there's a little sign up box. Would greatly appreciate that. So what we're going to do is try to see if we can connect the US National Park Service API to WordPress in some capacity. I don't know exactly what this is going to look like, but the objective of this stream is that I have wanted to create a website kind of around the US National Parks for quite a few years now. So the idea is that you would have, or that I would have some kind of site that would be more than just Google searching the name of the national park. And of course, the National Park Service website is great. You get all the important information like, prices and locations and all that kind of stuff. But more than that, what I really want to do is try to provide like additional information that you wouldn't know unless you've actually gone to the park. So I have a personal goal to go to every US national park. I have, I went to a couple this summer. So hopefully I can show you these stickers, but look at how cool those are. So that one's Black Canyon of the Gunnison in Colorado. And then Rocky Mountain National Park, also in Colorado. You can probably guess where I was this summer, but look at how cool those are. I think those are so sick. And then the Great Sand Dunes is the other one, Great Sand Dunes National Park, all of which are amazing parks, but like the aesthetic of them, these things are so cool. I don't think that I can use their imagery. I'm sure all this stuff is heavily protected, like their logo. I was going to use their logo in my thumbnail for this stream, and I went and looked, and it was like, we give you no permission whatsoever to use our logo. So I was like, oh gosh, I'm glad I checked. But yeah, so anyway, back to the point, there's a certain degree of information that you get from going to the park, just like things that you wouldn't read about on the national park website, or things that are just not like clearly conveyed in that way. So the objective is to just build a site really more for like my technical challenge. Like I don't intend for this site to be, a real site that has thousands of visitors every day or anything like that. If it does that's awesome. But that's not really the goal. It's more just like a technical exercise for me to see how far we can push this. So I thought it might be interesting to stream. And if you didn't watch the video from 2 days ago where I kind of talked about automations and stuff like that, essentially the idea was that I was able to automate a bunch of my business processes. And one of the coolest things was using the webhooks and Zapier, Zapier webhooks and the Cloudways API to automatically clone sites in my Zapier automation. So as the automation goes down, it'll clone the WordPress install, it'll give me the link and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely go watch the video from before. Stratos, good morning, or actually good afternoon to you probably. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, although I haven't streamed in a while, so I know it's probably my fault in that case. And on that note, while we're getting warmed up here, I see a few more people popping into the stream. The numbers are going up. So I presume the YouTube notifications have finally gone out, which is what we're typically waiting for. It takes about 5 minutes, I think, sometimes a little bit more. On that note, I want to give a shout out to our existing Permaslug members here on the channel. So YouTube has a little membership feature. I activated it. It's $5 a month. Just a nice little way to support the channel. So we got Kyle here. And oh yeah, I know Kyle's watching at 2x. We have Kyle, and let's see, who do we have at 12 months? So we have Kyle, Taylor, and Cito at 12 months, Daniel at 13, and then we have Robert, Sarah from table 4. Shout out to Sarah. Halgrium, sorry, I butchered your name, I know. 2 months. Mason got a month. Jay Barrios is 12 months, and Clayton at 6 days. So shout out to all of you guys and gals for being members on the channel. Super happy to see Kyle and Stratos, Vision, Taylor, anybody else that's here. Say hi in the chat, and we're going to get to the point here in just a little bit. So if any of you have any questions on this stuff, let me know. I'm curious, does this spark any thoughts for you, and whether or not there's something meaningful here. I think the thing that's so cool about this is that this is not just applicable to the site that I want to do. This can be used, I think, to more or less connect to any API. The thing that I haven't quite figured out is how we're going to sort of like fetch new data. So that's going to be more or less our Zap trigger. So is it going to be like a form submission? Do I go like fill out a little Gravity form and like submit it, and then it'll run the automation and update our data? I don't really know. So that's kind of the point of this stream, is to figure out how this is going to work. Jared, I presume, or Jerry D. Hello. Glad to have you here. So, let's see. What do I want to do now? Stratos says, have you tried Uncanny Automator? No, I have I've had a couple people ask between Uncanny and what's the other one? The one that Taylor uses. The thing that's like Zapier, but it's not Zapier. What is it called, Taylor? Oh man, I can't believe I can't remember. Oh, Integromat. The Integromat is pretty similar, but I think Integromat has doesn't it have like conditional logic in like a different way? It's almost like a Figma like canvas that you can build out your logic on. That's something that in terms of interface, I think Zapier kind of lacks on, is like if you're doing sort of like a branched logic, it like goes into a modal, and then the like, sort of like tree goes inside of that modal, and it can be pretty hard to sort of discern what you're actually doing and what you're working on. But the thing is, what I was realizing with that like if-then logic was that I think, like, I could be wrong, I'm sure there's use cases, but the thing for me, at least in Zapier, was like, if I need that sort of like crazy logic, there's got to be a way to make that automation more simple. Because when I was building the automation from a couple of days ago, I deleted and restarted all that probably like 4 or 5 times, because I just thought like, no, this is way too complicated, or this doesn't work. And so I just went back to the drawing board and kind of redid it. I feel like that's probably reasonably accurate in general, but maybe not for more complicated businesses and stuff. Uncanny is WordPress based. It automates plugins. Okay, and it still needs Zapier. That sounds pretty cool. Taylor says, I much prefer the way you build automations in Integromat versus Zapier. Yeah, I mean, I think it's I think it's a cool platform. It's just, I already had stuff. Somebody asked me, why did I choose Zapier? And it was really because I already had stuff there. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, due to needing to use no code tools. Yeah, for sure. I think there's use cases for each of them. So let's go ahead and switch over here to the National Park Service site. So hopefully I don't screw this up. The screen is about to go black because I don't think I properly set this up. So switch over here. For some reason my head's chopped off, but that's okay. API documentation, and then look at me, pro streamer, screwing shit up live. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, basically the National Park Service has a really cool API. So it allows you to pull pretty much any piece of information. Like, let's actually go to Rocky Mountain, not that site. Stratos, how long do I plan on leaving my hair? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna keep rocking it, and we'll see where it goes. So, of course, here on the individual kind of park page, like for Rocky Mountain National Park, for instance, there's all kinds of other stuff that you can get, you know, like things to do. There's activities like driving, camping, accessibility information, things like history and culture, all these like points of interest. There's so many pieces of data. And then there's also a lot of other just like regular pertinent information, like, you know, fees and passes and like the times that it's open and exceptions and all that kind of stuff. So there's just a monumental amount of data. And as I kind of already alluded to, like my thought with this site that I want to build is not to recreate this. Like there's no reason for me to create another site outside of the national park site. It's more to just add like supplemental information. And I don't know if this will work, but ideally the goal would be to have it to where the like I want it to be sort of like user driven in a way. I know that's really hard to do because it would take, you need traffic to get that user interaction, but to get the user interaction, you need the traffic. I don't know. There's probably a way to like gamify it a bit. But that's cart before the horse, because what you need to have is the site with the data. And I don't want to like manually, you know, input all this data. I know that there's like, I found lists and stuff from GitHub of all the national parks and like their you know, like addresses and stuff like that. But this is far more interesting. So what we can do with this is we can retrieve different pieces of information about these parks in whatever, you know, in whatever capacity we want. So look, there's like campgrounds, events. You can also go to parks and it will give you all of the information about a given park. So it's like, it's so cool when you look at these, like for, at least for me, when I looked at these sorts of like API documentations before, I was just like, cool, I have no idea what to do with this. But with these webhooks, it's like, man, I can picture something now. I could like do something meaningful with this information. And then, okay, so let's go ahead and get into Zapier real quick, because it's easy to look at this and be like, yeah, cool, that's neat. But it's even more cool to go do it and look at the data that it returns. So we're going to go create a Zap real quick. Again, this doesn't have to be Zapier, but this is just what I'm going to use. So we still need some kind of trigger, and what that is, I'm kind of undecided on. I don't know what's going to make the most sense. Like I already said, is it a gravity form submission? Do I really don't know what the trigger is going to be just yet. Maybe there's something that we could do dynamically from the website, like a new user registration or something like that. But for now, what I'm going to do, so we at least have a trigger so this works, is we're just going to choose a gravity form submission. I know Taylor's screaming at his screen right now because it's not Fluent Forms. So we're just going to choose any random form. We're going to give it a unique name of just like test. And then it should let us continue. There we go. So now we should be able to test this trigger. And again, this first step is completely meaningless for right now. It's simply just to let us create an action for the webhook. Gravity Forms plus Zapier versus Fluent Forms and Integromat. Yeah, I would actually be really curious about the capabilities between the two. I really don't know. Also, it goes without saying, I have a giant cafe here. It's more than a cafe, I'd say. It's a giant thing of cold brew. So what we can do now is go Webhooks by Zapier. So this is a premium add-on, as you can see. I did buy it because, like I touched on in the other video, these automations, and having these webhooks save me more than whatever the equivalent price is every month. Like I do those things so often, and I task my team with doing some of these things so often that that cost is sort of a non factor for me. I mean, obviously, I factor it in. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is that it's just kind of cost of doing business. So let's go ahead and click this. And with this event type, we need to actually look at the documentation. So when I was looking at this before, I forget where I saw it, but there was somewhere that said it's going to be a GET request. Oh, it's right here in giant blue, giant blue letters. You can see it right there, GET request. So like in the Cloudways documentation, for instance, let me see if I can show you just for context. Everyone's going to have kind of a different, way of doing this, but like in Cloudways, the request type was going to be post. But in this case, for the National Park Service, it's a GET request. So you're going to kind of have to dig through the documentation. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but the principle is still the same. You need to figure out what type of event it's going to be. So in our case, it's going to be GET, which sometimes can be a little bit confusing because sometimes it's like, well, I want to get the information, but I'm doing a post. So anyway, so we'll continue this. So the URL we need to hit is going to be in our API documentation here. We have the base URL, and then we need to append the specific thing we're looking for. So if we go ahead and pop this in, I need to add HTTPS in front of this. And then let's scroll down to the parks section here. So it's just /parks is what we need. And then our query string parameters, we can include, oh gosh, I need to close this tab. I keep going back to the wrong one. So in our query string parameters, these are all the different things that we can tell it to provide us. So we can give it an individual park code, and the park codes, I don't know if there's like a list somewhere that's easily accessible, but if I open up the tab I just closed again, in the URL, I can see the park code is Romo in this case. And then I bet if I go like white sand, or wait, what was it? National Sand Dunes? No, Great Sand Dunes. If I search that, then that one is GRSA. So let's do that one. This photo is so beautiful. And I didn't get like quite up onto these dunes. We sort of like walked towards them and up onto some of them, but there was a bit of like a sandstorm. But I actually didn't know a lot of these parks are open 24/7. That's so cool. Like this one for sure was, and it's one of those like dark sky sites. So you can kind of like see the stars, But I thought that was extremely cool. So this one is GRSA. So we're going to go with park code as the first query parameter. And then we're just going to type in GRSA. There may be a way to be kind of like more, dynamic with this, like inputting a gravity forms field or, something like that. Send as JSON. I do believe we want this as yes. JSON key is JSON. I haven't figured out what the unflatten is yet, but we'll see about that. The other thing we need to do is include our API key. So I will have to show you my API key here, but that's not a big deal. The API keys are free and super accessible. So if I need to get a new one, no big deal. You have to include it with every call. So API key, and then we'll pop this in here. And then what I can do is come down here to the continue button. And then if I go test and review, what? API key was not provided. Did I use the wrong parameter? Isn't it API underscore key? What did I do? Continue, test. Hashtag live stream. Oh, maybe I didn't authenticate with it because I had to do that earlier. Authorize, value, authorize. Okay, so it's authorized now. What about if I continue, test? What? Hashtag just live stream stuff? Oh my gosh. Let me make sure I use the correct URL. Park code. API underscore key. Oh my gosh. What did I do wrong? This worked. This worked yesterday. I swear I'm not that much of a clown. Maybe I need to, oh, maybe it's not send as JSON. Okay, that's all it was. Got it. I don't know why I switched that because I definitely didn't change that yesterday. So here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. So what we're going to get back is a just monumental amount of information, and we can do whatever we want with this. Oh, Divitus, awesome. Resub, I appreciate that so much. 11 months. You are in the top 5% of the Premise Lug members. I appreciate that so much. I think actually, Divitus, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to check real quick. I'm pretty sure you were the first ever donation on this channel. Let's see here. Yes, you sure were. Back in February of 2021. So I appreciate your continued support of the channel all this time. I genuinely appreciate that. So when are you coming back to Oxygen? Well, the thing is, I'm not building new sites in Oxygen, but I have a ton of client sites that are still in Oxygen, and I'm not going to move them off until the time comes for either a rebuild or some kind of, significant change to the site. I think Oxygen is, there's no reason to completely dump it. And like I said, I still have tons of sites on it. I still have many clients on care plans that are in Oxygen that are still supported. The sites are still working fine. So, there's that. Okay. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I can do this while I'm on stream, but I'm going to pull up a little bit of music on my, oh, wow, that's funny. When I go to YouTube, it shows me first. I'm going to pull up a little bit of music on my side. I don't think it's going to play through the speakers, but I just want a little bit of something in the background. If you hear it, let me know. I'm going to keep it really light on my side. But I actually asked in the past if people would want light background music on the stream. A bunch of people said no, I presume because you're listening to your own music. So it might be a little bit, what's the word? Conflicting. Okay, so back to what I wanted to show you. So there's a lot of other parameters we haven't really worked with here, but check this out. We get the name of the park, we get the code, which of course, we already gave it the code, but it's gonna return us the full name, it's gonna give us a full description, latitude and longitude, then the combined lat-long, which is awesome. I'm sure we could use that to plot. Give us the activities in kind of this nested format, and then let's scroll down a bit past the activities. There's so much stuff, look at all this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. Next up is topics. So there's going to be, I would have to kind of browse the site to understand specifically what all of these mean. So continuing down, there's so many of them. Then it gives us the state that it's in, the phone numbers of the place, emails, cost. So I actually, not 100% sure how we would map these field values. I think like the thought that comes to mind is mapping this to a Google Sheet so that then the Google Sheet could be used with like WP All Import or something like that. I don't know if you can like schedule, I think you can schedule reruns with WP All Import, but I guess the question is how would it update the file? Maybe that would be the like manual step involved, unless there's a way to like kind of connect Zapier and WP All Import. I don't know. But anyway, you can see there's all of these fees. There's so much information here. Directions URL, how does this work? Okay. Yeah, that's handy. See, like, this is fine, but like what I would want here, they probably can't do it because of some like government, purposes, but what I would want is like a little Google map that already has the destination filled in and you just type in your address and then it's gonna like plot this in. So there's tons of valuable information here. So like all the hours, it's open 24/7 every day, all day, but still it's just like, there's so much data here. I think this is just like, it's so awesome. Okay. So then what I wanted to do was play with this a little bit and see what else we can pull out of this API. So like, if we What happens if I don't include a park code? I'm guessing it would return everything, which is probably going to be way too big of a data set. So if I go with something like, isn't there like a state code? Probably should have just searched it. State. Oh, I can go with parks, then state code. Okay. Got it. State code. And then I think Alaska has a ton of them. So let's go with AK. I think that's Alaska state code. Continue, retest, and review. And I also don't know if this counts as in my, yeah, look at that. There it is right there. But you know what? I want it to return me only national parks, not like national monuments and all the other kind of sub items. So is there a way for us to do that? Term to search on, sort. So I wonder where I can find some of this other information. Limit number of results to return, default is 50, okay. Get the next result starting with this number, default is 0. So I guess you could use that to kind of iterate over the top of it. CY asked, did you know it's possible to import from an API directly with WPL import? That is super sick. I did not know that. It's interesting. That might be something we look into. I think you would probably... Yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting. Okay, so I need to kind of filter this out a little bit. So I want to go back to my action here. So my state code is Alaska. Is there like... There's got to be a way. Retrieve data about national parks. Maybe I'm just wrong and this is actually a national park. Okay, it's national preserve, so technically it's correct. It's returning the right thing. But I want to... Oh, Kyle, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. That's like a donation in itself, dude. You're awesome. So how would I filter this? I don't know if there's a way to do it. So let's see. I'm going to look through all these other options here. So campgrounds, articles, amenities, alerts, activities. What else do we have? Underneath parks, passport stamp. That's pretty cool. I didn't get the passport stamps when I was there. Places. I wonder what the differentiation between places is. Maybe I'm going to try /places instead. Continue. Retest. Yeah, okay, so here we go. Oh, I guess this is a place inside of Denali. So Sanctuary River. Sanctuary River Campground, okay. Interesting. Related parks. Okay, so places is not exactly what I want. So it's parks, but I only want the actual national parks. So what is the thing here? Activities, address, entrance fees, full name, ID, lat long, operating hours, limit, start. Maybe I just have to filter it out a different way. State code. Or are they categorized, possibly? I wonder if they're categorized in a way that we could pull something meaningful out of it. Like, is there a park type parameter? There's topics, state, Alaska. I just looked at all the parameters and I don't recall that, but I just wanted to check in this response here. Alaska public land. See, like there's all kinds of cool stuff, but like it's not necessarily what I would be after in this particular case because like I said, I want to build something to do with national parks, not necessarily all the national monuments and that kind of thing. Yeah, Imran, good to see you, buddy. You can get deep in this Zapier stuff, that's for sure. Okay, so let's look. I wonder if we can combine another parameter here. So can I like minimize this because it's made my thing so huge? There we go. Okay. So total data limit. What can our limit be? Number of results. Okay, so it's just an integer value. Comma separated list of 2 state codes. Comma delineated list of part code. Oh, okay, so you just need to give it the part codes. So it could provide multiple of them. Okay, got it. So I would have to get a list of all the part codes though. There's probably a way to do that. What about, can I just simply get the part code and nothing else? How would I do that? If I want just the parks. Well, let's do this. So it's park code, and then we know Rocky Mountain was Romo, and then what was this one? GRSA. So if I do that, I think there's like 60 of them, so it would be really bummer to do this. Yeah, see, this is one of those things that could either go extremely swimmingly or it could be really boring and really, really slow. And I don't know how it's going now, but I think I know. So we have Rocky Mountain National Park, and then we have the other one should be right. I wonder if it's only going to show us one of them. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. It's only going to show us one of them. So, I wonder how I would return a list of all the part codes. What happens if I just drop? Well, no, if I drop that parameter, it's not going to give me what I want. I'm just curious what happens if I send it nothing but my API key. What does it return? It's thinking. Oh, okay, so it's just going to return everything in an alphabetical order because it's Abraham, ABLI, not what I want. So surely there's a way to pull out just the part codes. I mean, I guess. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna go with state code, and then let's go with AK. I assume it's lowercase actually. And then I'm gonna go with continue, retest, just to make sure it's pulling in the proper stuff. And then I wanna get this into like a Google Sheet. So Google Sheet. I created one yesterday, so we can just go ahead and create a new row. Google Sheet. I did. There we go. Just took a second. Drive is going to be my drive. Spreadsheets, hopefully there's nothing questionable in here. National Parks data. And then worksheet is just going to be sheet 1. And then here is all of the data mapping. Okay, so yeah, here I can go ahead and map all this data. But these are the column headers in my Google Sheet. This actually isn't what I wanted. I was hoping it would just dump it in there for me automatically. So maybe if I change the action type. Can I have it create a whole new spreadsheet? I guess that must be what I want. So title would be National Parks List Test. Spreadsheet to copy. No, I don't need that. These headers are ignored if a spreadsheet to copy is selected. Headers. Don't know. We're going to see what happens. I don't know if this is going to go well. So this may have done nothing. It appears to have done nothing. So it created it. Oh, okay. So it did what it was supposed to do. It's creating a spreadsheet, but it's not necessarily pulling in the data. Damn. Okay. Not what I wanted. It worked yesterday because, let's see. If I pull this out and then I go National Parks Data, I was able to kind of map some stuff yesterday based on the other field kind of headers that you saw. So, you know, just more or less mapping this stuff into it. But the other thing that I thought about doing was in a WordPress install, I went ahead and got the Zapier for WordPress plugin, which, funny enough, is reviewed absolutely terribly. Look at these reviews. It's so bad. So bad. And it hasn't been updated in 7 months. You would think that a company like Zapier would want there to be a better you know, quantity of reviews on their plugin, but evidently they don't care. So I went ahead and got this. There was no settings to configure at all. But if I change this to just WordPress, the thing I couldn't figure out yesterday was how I could get it to connect to ACF fields. So we'll create a post, choose account. I already authenticated yesterday, so hopefully this works. Yeah, see, Taylor, I wonder what it is. Like, I wonder if people's servers are terrible, or, I mean, I guess there's a million variables as to what it could be, like why it doesn't work. We'll go with posts. I didn't pick the site that I wanted this to go to, but evidently it's going to work. So I can map this stuff. Yeah, that's true. I saw that the Zapier plugin requires you to have pretty permalinks enabled. And there was tons of people who were like, this doesn't work, it doesn't even connect. And I was like thinking it's probably because of that, or they're on some like garbage shared hosting. It's actually make non-integrate. What's up, Luke? Good to see you, buddy. Did Integramat get bought out or renamed or something? Is that why everybody says Integramat/make? So with this, we could just simply map a bunch of this data. So where is the park title? There's so many things here. What is it? Is it just title? Is that what I want to search? Data entrance fees, park data name. Oh, these are all of the post names. I don't think that's going to be what we want because we want this to almost like loop through. Is there a loop feature? I think there is. I'm pretty sure it's in beta. Oh, not that one. This action. Loop. Looping. Run all following steps repeatedly. Event. Create loop from line items. Create loops from line items from numbers, from text values. From text. And then what if we do warning, values to loop. What is it called? Park name, I think. Test action. It's down here. Oh, Why did it go away? Test action. There we go. It's called full name is the parameter. I actually don't know if this is going to work, and hopefully I don't just completely detonate my server. This is probably where the reviews come from, where they're like, this doesn't work. So full name, and then show all, and full name, data full name, and then the delimiter is a comma. Loop iteration counter start. A counter value call will be added, does not affect the data to loop. Max number of loop iterations. Let's go with like 5, just to be sure. So we're going to continue. Luke, oi oi mate. Woo! They renamed to make absolutely stupid for, yeah, for sure. Okay, so that works. That's pulling in the first 5. So then can you add, oh, you can add multiple values. Okay, so let's just stick with that for now. We're going to go with full name, and then we're going to go with create post, then set up action, and our title is going to be our loop full name. I think, right? Authors, me, that's fine. Format, continue. So if this works, what we should have is 5 posts created in that WordPress install. So now if we go to posts, damn, I only created 1. Okay. It did create the post though, which is cool. So something to do with the loop, I suspect. Because it broke out the content, so wait, values to loop. Create loop from text. Maybe I should check the documentation real quick. You can use looping by Zapier to run an action or set of actions more than once. Any action that follows a looping step will run once for each set of values input into a create loop step. Okay. So what did I miss? Why did it only create 1 of those? Because it seems to have properly pulled it out. It pulls those pieces of data correctly. Create post, continue. Maybe I want the other parameter here. Shouldn't it have run it multiple times based on what that said? So if it's got full name, you got... Let's see, the post though. Hey Raptor, welcome in, thanks. Lionel, yeah, because the post isn't in a loop. I think so, but it says that any action after the loop will be run multiple times. See, it says, where did it say that? This will loop through the Zap, add context step for each one. Yeah, see, like, I think it should work. I know you guys are are telling me to switch to make. I'm so deep in the Zapier game that I don't know if I'm going to switch. Maybe at some point in the near future, but definitely not today. Not on the stream, that's for sure. So... because this is just looking for values. Yeah, that's why I didn't say the price earlier, because I knew I was going to get flamed. This is looking for values to loop through, but what it needs to do is these actions afterward. I'll refund you, dude. Okay, so... oh my gosh. I got to test it again. Okay, so we got loop iteration 1, loop iteration 2. Continue. Create post. It says that every action afterwards is run multiple times for each iteration in the loop. So it should be working. Post type is post, full name. Oh, do I need to run the loop action again? Let's retest. Continue. I know this is still just in like the test mode. Retest and review. And maybe in this test it doesn't work. Maybe you have to actually run this for it to work the loop, because it did create the post. In fact, it created it twice. So then move those to the trash. Yes, you guys are funding it. You're also funding my my coffee addiction, so I appreciate that very much. This is I appreciate all you guys being here. This is definitely not the most captivating stream ever. So if I were to publish this, so my form submission that it's doing is on my website, contact us form. So I'm going to publish this real quick. I'm going to switch to a different tab. Contact. We're going to go with this, some sample data, test, submit. Oh gosh, submit. Okay, so. Oh, you know it, dude. Gravity forms all day, baby. I don't think which one did I just turn on? Did I have it in a folder? Wait, did I even name that Zap? I don't think I did. Permaslug. There it is. Untitled Zap. And it says it's off. Why is it off? Enable Zap version missing. The little like, here, I'll switch over here. So you can see this thing. Is that what you're talking about, Dividus? It's a thing on Amazon. I'll drop it in chat in a little bit. One of my friends shared it and said that he bought 2 of them and said it was amazing. And I really love it. It's really, really awesome. You can set the colors to change. You can make it still so that it doesn't move. You can make the stars, on or off. It's pretty sweet. Something is wrong with my Zap. What did I do? Why would it let me like save and publish? Something is missing here. What does it say? Enable published version. I want it to throw me the error. Like, tell me what it is. That's one thing that I noticed about Zapier is that it'll like turn it on, but it doesn't actually give you a notification here that it's broken. It said something about customer ID. I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna go check my email real quick and see what it says. Zap could not be switched on. The API key provided does not have right permissions. Oh, because it's a legacy form. So let me create a new form real quick. Yeah, Luke, I thought it was really cool too. That's why I went ahead and bought 2 of them. They were a little bit expensive, but whatever. How did I know you were going to say that, Taylor? We're going to change this to test form, and then I'm just going to stick in 1 field, which is required, save, and then now we have a new form. So hopefully this will automatically detect this new form. Test form, there we go. We'll change this unique name to something else. Test. Oh, there's no submissions on this one. Oh, Brought in some sample ones. Cool. All right, so now we should be able to publish and turn this on. We'll see if it works. Waiting. Says it went on. Checking my email to make sure that it actually went on. Zap could not be switched on. Cool. Okay. So we need a different trigger. What other trigger can I use? What other trigger can I use here? Trying to think. What's something easy? Oh, will it look at a Gravity or a Google Sheet? Yeah, Taylor, I can run it, but okay, yeah. You can you can manually run it. You're right. So I just need to change this to something else because that trigger is just not going to work because the Gravity Forms version that I have on the website this is connected to is just older. Triggers when a new row is added to the bottom of a spreadsheet. Is that what I want? Let's go with new or updated. Choose account. Google Sheets. Continue. Spreadsheet is going to be National Park List Test. Worksheet. Come on now. Sheet 1. Trigger any column. Continue. Test. Expected at least a row of headers. Okay, can do. Tests. We'll go with header 1, header 2. Done. Hey, Hazim. Welcome in. Glad to have you. Test trigger again. We couldn't find a spreadsheet row. Oh, okay. So what about now? Always something, huh? There we go. We found a spreadsheet row. Perfect. That's all we wanted. Okay, so if we publish this now, this is a bit of convoluted, but it's me. It definitely is progress, Luke. You are totally right. I appreciate your positivity, dude. Okay, so it's on. If we refresh, is it still on? Yes, it is. Okay, so what should happen now is I should be able to create a row in this Google Sheet. It's going to go to the National Park API. It's going to loop through the first couple of values, and it should create 5 posts in WordPress. So, not that sheet. I can close this one. So let's go with test 2. So if I do that, it's going to save real quick in Google Drive. It says it's an instant trigger, so if we go to history, we should see this run here in just a second. It's going to make a liar out of me, naturally. Refresh. While I'm waiting on that, I'm going to grab the Amazon link for that product. The little like spaceman thing. Here we go. Oh, it's cheaper than when I bought it. There you go. It's a sweet little like spaceman, so you can like turn his head. Here, let's see if I can show you. He's just on the ground. So it's too far away, but it's just like a little spaceman. And you can like turn his head to be like, woo! There we go. Oh! I just have him on the ground so that the spot is proper like that. Reminds me of oxygen? What do you mean? So Taylor, the standing desk, it's out there, but one of the legs came broken. And so I sent a picture to the people that I bought it from, and it's, I don't know, they're going to send me a new leg or something. Super annoying. Okay, so did our Zap run yet? Is there a bit of a delay or something? It says instant. Why is our Zap not run? Task usage. Yeah, I bought a little like, I bought one of the little, what do you call them? Little like squishy pads to stand on. But I'm just excited to have it because I want like kind of a balance between work and play. You know, I like to game after work, and it just gets really old to like sit at the desk all day, go have dinner, hang out with the family a little bit, and then come back to the same desk. I'm just like, oh, even if, you know, it's going to end up being the same desk, but I'll just be able to like raise and lower it and sit down versus stand up. So I think it'll be a nice little like, it'll be a nice just difference. So why the hell has our Zap not run? um... I wonder if I need to modify it more. Saving. Change the light color in the room. I can do that. What color do you want? Orange? Let's see. This new iOS update changed the Home app. Office. What should we do here? I'm gonna mute my mic real quick so I can cough. Oh, yeah. That totally makes sense. I can do that. Which one am I working with here? It says it's white right now, which is most definitely not true. If you're on Twitch, you could add channel points to redeem room colors. That's hilarious. That would be amazing. I don't know if I want that. Let's go here to this one. Then we'll go with orange. That's a deep orange. I want more like that. And then, can you see a difference if I change this thing? Sort of. My hair is glowing orange a little bit. It's like ridiculously bright in my eyeballs though. So I'm gonna change that. It kind of, interestingly, it washes out the spaceman a little bit. Thanks, Luke. You're so kind, dude. Okay. I want to know why our Zap hasn't run. Oh, here we go. Oh, shit. It ran a lot. Is it going to create that same that same list of posts like 10 times? Oh, gosh. It worked, though. Look at that. That's sick. That's really, really cool. So, do we have 5? Alaska Public Lands is 1, Algonac River is 2, Aleutian is 3, and Nichiak is 4, and Bering is 5. Yeah, okay, that worked. So the trigger is obviously pretty terrible. Updating a Google Sheet, I guess it ran 3 or 4 different times because, you know, I updated this sheet so many times. So maybe I just wasn't patient. But, so Zap task 235, did it count? Oh, wow. Yeah, so that eats up your tasks whenever you're doing that much data. And I also did it, you know, too many times. But that does work, which is really cool. So that tells me that when you're testing in the back end, the loop you can run, but it only does the first iteration of that, which is nice. So you can kind of test to make sure that it's working. And then if you go really run it with the real trigger, it's going to go through all of it. I made a page on my site where I can close all of my clients' websites thanks to REST API. What do you mean? Like if somebody stops paying? That's crazy. I never really cared about doing that kind of thing because I just thought, I don't know, I just don't run into that problem enough for like clients to stop paying for it to be worth my time to build something like that. But then again, it's effective. Okay, so how have we already been at this an hour? That's crazy. So now what do I want to do? I want to change up this API a little bit. So we need more meaningful data out of this. So if I edit this Zap, let's go ahead and call this np list test or something like that. Exactly. Late invoices, I just log into my page and I can choose a list of clients and hit one button. Their website gets a display, say unavailable. Wow. That's damn effective, I'm sure. Okay, so with our state code now, we have AK. What other parameters would we want? So we have all of the different pieces of data related to this particular park. So we would want to map all this information. So we pulled out the full name. So we would want description. We would want the lat long description, and then it's going to be get, and then description. Gosh, there's so much in here. I wish it filtered a little bit better. Contact numbers, description. Here we go. Data description. And then lat long, I think, is what it was written as. Oh, interesting. So the lat long is all comma separated. So if we do the comma, it's only going to bring in the first piece of it. Right? Yeah, that's kind of weird. So I guess maybe you would want like latitude. That's really interesting. I wonder how you could do that if there's a different kind of separator. We're going to ignore that for now because that's not super critical. I would just use the address and plot that. So what is the address parameter? I guess, though, the thing is, not all the parks have an actual street address. Maybe you could put zip code? Let's see here. So that's a mailing address for that place. Images. The images would be nice to loop through. Grab their URLs. And then I guess you could put them in the post body. And Taylor showed me a plugin yesterday that will grab images and automatically upload them into your WordPress library, which is pretty cool. Yeah, see, like these don't have full-blown street addresses. So I guess you would have to use lat long and then pop those into an ACF field. Okay, so latitude. Gosh, there's so many fields here. Latitude. And then longitude. Show all. Longitude. There we go. So then full name description. Let's go with images. So then image. Where are those? Data directions, images, alt text, image URL. Make has a feature. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. Okay. So what we should be able to do now is loop through these a little bit, and we should be able to get the individual pieces of information. Yeah, look at this. So we got our description, latitude and longitude. We got an image. So where does this take us? Oh, that's cool. Nice little fishy photo. And then we would need to map some of this other data. So our content would be the loop description, Excerpt we would leave alone. Password, I don't want that. That's LastPass automatically filling in. Featured media would be, let's see, choose from one of your uploaded media files. That is not helpful. So could I put the image URL straight in the body here? Probably can. Yes, sir, Luke, I sure have. I hope you have been too, sir. I need to disable LastPass on this. Featured media, comment status, ping, format, status. Let's go with published. Date will be today. That's fine. It's fun, dude. I've been really enjoying it. I met 2 friends on there. I've been having a blast. Okay. So now we should be able to go back to our post. There should be a new one here. So Algonac Wild River, or Alagnac. And then it doesn't convert those to blocks. I wonder why that is. It sticks it all in the paragraph. So I guess we kind of have to format this. Do we need to wrap these links in a figure tag? I guess it didn't loop through the images properly because it's just dumped out a bunch of images. Oops, not bold. Can we edit the HTML of this? So it drops it as a P. Oh, it's because I just changed it to a P. But if I wrap it in a figure, does that work? Oh, damn. No. There must be some other piece of code. I guess it's a figure and an image tag, right? Figure, and then img src, and then /figure. Nope. I don't know exactly what it is. Let's add an image real quick. Let's just go with the regular image component. And then I don't think I have anything on this media library. Let me try to find a photo real quick. I'll just stick in the image that I used for this thumbnail. Oh, figured. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess it would have worked had I not made that typo, because it is just a figure and then an image. So, just to test that again, can I edit this one as HTML? We're gonna go figure. You know, another funny one with the typos like that is I often, when I'm trying to say serve or like served, I often end up typing server, like on my server. Okay, /figure, and then let's go img src, and then doo-doo. Did I do it right this time? What? Mother. Figure. img src. And then /figure. Isn't that all that I need? Oh, yeah, sorry, Divitus. Wadalka is World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King, and there's like a classic version out of an expansion that they released like 13 years ago that's really, really fun and like highly, like thought of in a very high regard, and it's really, really fun. So I've been enjoying playing that again. You should just be able to paste an image element and it should be converted. Okay. I wonder why it's just... If I just drop this image in, does that work? It does. Okay, interesting. Oh, but that's a paragraph. It wraps it in a P tag. Why would it do that? What about if we use the GenerateBlocks image component? Can you not edit this one as HTML? I guess you could. Got to take it out of Gutenberg real quick. I think maybe it's because it's missing. I think maybe it's because it's missing some of the other parameters, like some of the other, almost like JSON headers that Gutenberg requires. You may have to kind of like build out that a little bit more, because I can paste it back in and it works. Interesting. Luke, are you not on the Gutenberg train yet, dude? I'm disappointed. Every time I bring up Gutenberg or GeneratePress or GenerateBlocks, people unsubscribe. It's fucking hilarious. It's super, super funny. Let's see, I released a video a couple days ago. Did people unsub? Let's see. Yes. I love it. Goodbye. Okay. You're still at the crossroads. Yeah, I understand. Makes sense. I definitely think that it's got some merit, dude. It really, really does. Okay, so I think we could get around this image thing with providing some of the additional, parameters that you need in this action. So like this is the code that the GenerateBlocks component looks like. So I think what's missing is this header right here. And then of course this closing tag. So for some reason the loop didn't quite work. What is the image parameter called? I guess I'll just search it. Images. And then is it images URL? The oxygen, bricks, breakdance, Gutenberg, give up, crossroads. I like the idea of giving up. That sounds great. Dude, if you become a JavaScript dev, yep. I'm a fan, dude. Do it. So this is our loop action. Data images URL. Images. I haven't looked into Pinegrow in terms of like me trying it myself. I don't know if you're talking to me or Luke, but I personally haven't looked into it. I have seen Adam Lowe's videos on it, and it looks really cool, but I haven't really dug into it yet. So images. And then if I set up this action, if I go image img src equals like that, I wonder if it will work. So Taylor, is this what you're talking about? Yeah, that's the other thing, Luke, is it's like interface and just like its complexity is so intense. So Taylor, I think this should work because it's just an image with a source. It's got that URL. I'm really curious. So actually, I'm going to go delete this post. Would need the closing slash? Really? Retest and review. Continue. So we don't want that. So we're going to dump that content. Why the hell does it keep dropping that password in? That's so annoying. Retest and review. Okay, so new post. Alignac River. Where's our images? Looks like it got stripped. Damn. So that doesn't work. what happens if, like if you copy an image address, it makes it an embed if you just drop the image in. That doesn't seem right though. What about if we grab one of these, copy image address? What is that address? Okay, yeah, that's good. So again, it makes it an embed. So I wonder if you do need all that other junk surrounding it. What is the Gutenberg image component look like with the code? So I'm going to take this. I'm just switching over to Notepad and dropping it right in. So it's a WP image. It's just a figure. I wonder if you have to have the figure wrapped around it too. I think I'm going to try that. Okay, so we would go setup action, and then it's figure class like that, and then slash figure. Let me make sure I actually spelled it correctly this time. Image source, figure. Yeah, green lantern, that was it. Green sock, there's a million different things like that. Wait, no, not green sock, that's GSAP. Oh, continue, retest. It's probably gonna make the exact same post again, which is fine. We'll just go out of here. Did it work? Damn. I don't, oh, okay. It left our figure tag, but it stripped our image. What's missing? I don't know. That's a weird one. That is a weird one. Not super pertinent right now, because I was just kind of like looking at some of this other data. But actually, what you could do, if you guys hear like, I promise it's my chair. It's not me. You could realistically just map this to your Google Sheet. So like, national parks. List test. I highly doubt that, Taylor. National Parks data. I feel like the thing to do... Could you loop over this and make it create extra green shift? Yep. Could you loop over this and make it create additional headers, or would I need to kind of define these headers, I wonder? Green shift is for animation. Oh, okay. Rather than using motion page. Oh, that was one thing I was going to mention to you guys, to, you know, anybody that's using GeneratePress and GenerateBlocks is there is something kind of cool that happens with using motion page on a GeneratePress and GenerateBlocks site, where a lot of the different containers and things that you'd be interested in animating all share a similar class, but you can kind of control it a little bit. So I was able to create some effects, just like basic stuff, you know, where things slide in from the left and right edges and kind of like stagger and that sort of thing, with no additional classes. Like technically you could do that in Oxygen, because whatever the class adds, I forget, something like Oxy container or whatever, something to that effect. Same idea, but it was just nice to be able to create some animations in like no time across the site, because the classes are pretty consistent. There's like GB grid, I think, and then GB grid container, and then there's GB grid container with, you know, a unique ID. CT block, yeah, exactly. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit off the rails here, and we've already been at this an hour and 20 minutes, good Lord. I'm gonna take a quick break and think about this. And then I wanna come back to this because like we've kind of proven the concept now that this is possible. But what I'm thinking is, and I could be wrong, but I'm gonna think about this for just a second, take a break and I'll be right back. But like mapping this into a Google Sheet and then using WPL import, something like that. Luke, Taylor won't let me forget that I said that whenever I hit 10,000 subscribers, I would do a 10-hour stream. So we'll see if we ever get there. But I did say that I would do that. So I'm not that we'll see about all that. But okay, real quick, I'll be right back. Stream's not ending. Just going to take a quick break, and we will pick up here in just a minute. No, Taylor, do not leave. Do not go watch a competitor. Okay. First of all, shout out to all of you for sticking around. This has not been my my most popular stream by a long shot, but it's also kind of a niche thing. This is a really interesting because I thought there would be more people interested in this. I have people asking for like more technical content often. You would think that like APIs and webhooks and stuff would be of interest, but clearly it's not. I didn't think it would be, which is so interesting because I asked in my group, in the Facebook group, which if you're watching this back and you're not a part of it, go check it out. It's Permaslug WordPress Professionals on Facebook. I asked, what kind of sites are you building? How technical? And the response was like 50% or more are building like standard brochure sites. So it's like, you don't need to be building those on Oxygen and Bricks. Like, that's just way too overkill. So I found that very, very, very fascinating, and kind of proved a suspicion that I had. So there's that. So what I want to do is come back here. So if we create a loop, we just need to more or less like set up all the different data fields. So with our images, we don't really need all this junk. For what I think I'm going to do, we have our data latitude and longitude. We have our images. What else am I going to want? What other data points? So we have a ton of different things. Oh, like hours. We're going to want, let's see, image caption. That's nice. Let's see, hours, standard. Yeah, Luke, that's true. I mean, it definitely can scope creep for sure. I personally avoid pretty much everything to do with e-commerce of any kind, so I guess it's a little bit different. So I wonder how you would break this up. Like, I wonder if you went like Sunday, operating hours would be like Sunday, and you would go like Sunday space and then like that, and then your delimiter would be a comma, but then would you need a loop? You would need a repeater probably in the WordPress install. That's kind of a complicated one because the Sunday days, the thing is, I don't think you would need to overthink the days because so many of them are 24/7. Hey, Claudio. So good question. The API, yeah, so more or less to migrate the data into your site. But I was also thinking like having this available to you as an automation so that you could rerun it easily to update information because, you know, hours are going to change, amenities are going to change, different things like that. But again, the idea is that not so much to necessarily like show specifically this site. Again, this is more of like a challenge, you know, technical challenge for me rather than like creating a real site. But the idea is just to like connect APIs to your WordPress site in general, so that like you could just use this to pull in data from other sources that you might not be able to otherwise. And what I was kind of doing right now is mapping out some of the data points that we've pulled in from the API, like the park name, description, latitude, longitude, their images. And then the other thing I was just looking at was their hours. But so many of these parks have like either 24/7 or the hours are the same for every day. Like you can see hours standard all day. And then the park like gates usually close at a certain time. Storing all the data as JSON would be easier to store and update. Yeah. So, I mean, you're already getting it as a JSON source. So, how would you store it as JSON, Taylor? I mean, if you're already getting all that information, like, I guess I don't understand the point of that. So let's go with like hours day will be our value. And then we're going to go with I wish they had one thing for hours for the day that was all the days combined. Yeah, so to your point there, you would probably need to use WPL import to get the sheet into WordPress. I was trying the Zapier integration, like the Zapier WordPress plugin, which works to create posts. But what I did yesterday off stream was I couldn't get it to read the advanced custom fields, you know, in the Zapier automation. So I made sure that the custom field group was enabled in the REST API and all that kind of stuff, but it just didn't seem to work. So it's tough to say. I don't really know. You can write a simple function to decode JSON and pull out the data you need rather than having to map each individual information. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but you can also just write that you could just map this once or jump to a custom code solution. So, I mean, I think it's half and half either way. So really, we have full name, description, latitude, longitude, images. So what would happen if I then continued and then I'm going to go with, oh, this is still inside the loop. That's interesting. Okay, so you could have it do multiple things. I didn't even think about that because this is still inside the loop. For some reason, I thought the loop action would only allow you to do one thing. But for every iteration of it, you can make it do multiple actions. I know I read that, but I didn't think about that. So I'm trying to process like how is that helpful? Well, one thing I'm curious about is I think I have WPL import on my computer. I sure do. Is there a way, like you can schedule a rerun, but how does that actually work? Mapping 20 plus ACF fields to a post isn't good use of storage. Yeah, I hear you on that one. We'll use ACF extended to combine the post meta. How about that? Let's go download as CSV, just so that we have something to upload here. And then if we pop that in, then we'll go to step 2. I'm not super worried about this right now. I really just wanted to get to the point where I can schedule this. So we'll go with full name, description. Yeah, this would work. I mean, you have entrance fees. So then you would probably just have a comma separator, or if you have a repeater, I think the ACF add-on for all import can do repeaters. I could be wrong, but I think it can. So then you can also get it to automatically pull in your images to your media library too, which is cool. Scheduling options. Here we go. This is what I wanted to check. Oh, why is it not letting me continue? Oh, download from URL. Okay. Continue. We'll just confirm and run this real quick just so we have something 100% done. Manage imports. Settings. Scheduling. Download from URL. Use existing file. Schedule. It still won't let me do it. Maybe if I save it and go back to the settings. Scheduling, there we go. Oh, cool. Okay, so there's a trigger URL. So, got it. Okay, so you can set this to manually. Oh, there's an add-on, of course. Oh, awesome. So if you just go to that URL, does that trigger it? Cron job triggered. Okay, okay. That's all you got to do is hit that URL, huh? I didn't know that. Okay, gosh, I'm trying to think. There's so many different pieces here at play. Like, I don't want to get too far down this whole like mapping thing in Zapier when I'm not 100% sure how all this is going to go together. Yeah, you can totally set the cron on the server for sure. Just trying to think about how the best thing is to do this. I mean, the thing is, like, clearly this works. You can pull in different posts from an API, which is super cool. So there's just a few pieces of data that are a bit tough to work with, like the hours being in multiple days, the latitude and longitude. We have all that information. So like clearly we could just map these to ACF fields. And maybe it would just be like, maybe I would just do the first instance of these, because again, I already said earlier that the goal for me is not to like recreate all the data on the National Park Service site. There's no reason to do that. What I want to do is have sort of like the pertinent information and then have more information that's not on the site, like, you know, reviews and descriptions and people saying like, you know, I wish I had this, or, you know, keep this in mind when you go, those sorts of things. That's more what I want rather than like recreating all this data. So really we could just do some simple ACF fields. Latitude, longitude, state, image. Yeah, so full name, description, latitude, longitude, state, entrance fee. We don't need that column. And then operating hours. I like that one because it just says while certain roads and facilities may close, open 24 hours, 365. So then we have images. We need to kind of break those up, but if we just pull in the first one, that's no big deal. Like, that's perfect. That one brings in all of those different image things. So I just mapped that incorrectly. So we could go with, we could just call this one like featured image. And then what are the other data points would I want? Activities, no, I don't think that's really all that pertinent. Like, people can talk about that, like camping and, I don't know, maybe in the future. Images, weather info. I think just some basic information, that's all we need. So, I mean, really, setup action, maximum number of loop iterations, go, well, 5 is fine for now. Continue. And then this Google Sheet, we'll go with create spreadsheet row, continue, Google Sheet, continue, drive, it's going to be my drive, spreadsheet is going to be this one, the National Parks data, worksheet, excuse me, sheet 1, full name. Got to pull it out of the loop. Full name. Description. Pull out of the loop for the description. Latitude. Didn't include that, did I? That's fine. Entrance fees 1. Why is that one not named? Oh, okay, so there's an empty column. Where did it go? Here we go. Featured image is going to be this, but I only need the first portion of this. Wonder why. Let's test that. I think it's going to bring in multiple image URLs there. Yeah, okay. So there's just something wrong with my loop. Because I really only needed to bring in the first one of those. It doesn't appear to be wrong, though, because it's pulling in the proper bit of information right there. Isn't it? Data, oh, you can't type it right there. Data, images, URL. URL. Maybe that'll help filter it down a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's not working. I mean, it's working right there. Yeah. What the heck? Continue. Test action. Man, that's so odd. It's like something about the loop value there. I guess you could do like a split text. Where is it? There's some way to do like a split test. Split text to columns. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then you can break it out that way. The thing is, I only need the first image. Did that work? Yeah, it did work. Okay. I mean, that's cool for sure, but it's an extra step that I don't want to do. I don't know. I think that this approach is going to take some more thinking. I think that like the principle is here. Pulling in this data is totally possible. This is like a lot of info. I think what I want to do is take some time to like give this some more thought and really like map out the goals of this, because that's what I would do for a typical site. So like I want to spend some time on figuring out what pieces of data do I want from the API? What is the proper trigger to go fetch that new data? And then what is the goal of this site? So maybe next time what I'm going to do is continue this project, but have a design ready so we can sort of like create ACF fields, add them to a template, map data to those ACF fields, and then get something sort of more real going. Because it's still a little bit abstract in my head, but like obviously this works because we've been able to pull in posts to the back end. We've been able to pop in, multiple data values, as you can see. And yeah, that's the thing, Taylor. I agree. Design will help with getting the right data. So, I mean, I've enjoyed this. This is definitely more exploratory for me. Like I said, this was not like intended to be some revolutionary stream. I didn't know how far this was going to get. I personally am hitting some roadblocks here, but that's just really because I think everything is a bit abstract. I'm glad you are enjoying it, Claudio. Thanks. Luke, I know I'm not allowed to leave, dude. I'm beholden to YouTube, the YouTube overlords at all times. But I just wanted to quickly say thank you so much. If you guys can drop a like on the stream, that would be amazing. I appreciate you all sticking around, especially Taylor and Luke and everybody. Deviatus, Claudio, I know you just got here recently, but I'm going to go ahead and wind this down while I still have some energy for the rest of the day. And we're going to continue this. I want to give this some more thought. I want to come up with a design and we'll kind of build something out from there. So with that in mind, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in a future stream. Thanks, guys.